Forex. Yo, alright. Yes, sir. Yo, it's good. Just let a couple people get in here. Just chill for a second. I'm just posting the links and stuff. It's good, Brian. What's good, Joe? Family. Mayo, what's good? It's good. Shout out Nigeria. That's fire. I'm doing good, bro. Can't complain, bro. I'm blessed. I really can't complain. I've been having like anxiety, but other than that, I'm doing well. Sneaker Anonymous, what's up, bro? You in the sneaker game? Is that what I'm getting? You sell shoes or something? Just gonna let a couple people, like more people get in here, and then I'll get it cooking. Con Lee, what's up, bro? I gotta do the non-copyright music on the YouTube lives, or else they're gonna strike my shit down. Crazy. Can't even listen to music, man. This beat makes me want to rap. The boom bap. I'm about to start freestyling. Yo, for real. That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm on the same. That's exactly how I feel right now. You sound like you about to do some freestyle shit. That ass. That's exactly how it feels. It's so funny. I want to just start spitting. That's funny. This beat's hard. Alright, who we got in here? Let me see what's the viewers looking like. Come on, hit that flow. Oh no, I can't. It's too cringy. I used to make music though. I could probably freestyle a little bit. Nothing crazy. But too cringy, bro. I can't do it. I can't do it. Alright, I'm going to get this thing going in like literally a minute. Just tweet it out. All the links. Let me just post on Instagram really quick. Just gotta post it on one more place and then we're good to go. Addo, what's up, bro? You sound like a rapper though. That's crazy. The mic or my voice? How you doing though, Hope? I was just talking to your friend. Pickle. What's your friend's name? Let me check. Espern. I was just talking to Espern. Espern's grinding. Shout out to Espern. Big fan, sir. Love you from Pakistan. That's love, bro. Shout out to Pakistan. Appreciate that. What's good, Pickle? How you doing, Brody? You gotta, yo, Pickle, you gotta start doing your forecasts on YouTube. I don't know why you do them in Discord. I mean, that's just my opinion, but Discord has like the limitations. It has I just think YouTube would make way more sense for you. Yeah, why haven't you? Phantom trading, what's good? What's good? I need your help setting up. Yeah, we could hop on I could probably do it tonight or tomorrow. Might be a little busy tonight. Even in the Ario stream, a lot of people were talking about Pickle chat. Pickle's a goat, bro. Yeah, I'm about to get into this. Alright. Y'all know the drill. Let me turn this music down. How's the audio? Is this good right here? I never know how to do the audio levels, bro. Burger. What's good, Joe? Joe's actually tuning in early. Let's go. That's fire. Yeah, I appreciate you tuning in, Joe. A bit lower. Okay. Good. I'm gonna leave it right here. I feel like that's solid. I still want to be able to hear it a little bit. All right, let's hop into the charts. Y'all know the drill. What's the first thing we do? Every single Sunday. What's the first thing that we do? I'm not hopping into the charts until I see it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. Throw it in the chat. Yes, sir. Check news. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna throw up the news right here. Let me know if the audio's all good. I did some changes to my mic. I like doing it like this, so. Let me just check on my phone, make sure everything's good. All right, yeah, you guys can see that. Boom. All right. Economic. Bro, your pronunciations kill me. I'm not gonna lie. Your pronunciations kill me, bro. What's the other thing you say funny? He says FOMC. Bro, be saying FOMC. FOMC. Calls it FOMC. Yeah. There's other shit too. Yeah, your pronunciations are hilarious, bro. It's like economics not wrong. It just sounds funny when you say it. Like it's the economy, economic. It's just funny. All right. Yeah. All right, let's do it. So Monday, no news for my intraday traders. You already know the drill, right? There's no news. It's a Monday. Mondays are usually accumulation for the weekly profile. So just not a good formula. Not a good formula for volatility, right? So you want to be cautious on Monday. Intraday, I will not be trading on Monday. But that being said, for swings, I don't need news on the day to enter into a swing because I'm looking for delivery on the week, not the day. So ideally, I want to see some form of news on the week for my swings. I'm not too stern about it. You know, if I think something looks very, very ready to go, like 2 week currencies and a clear draw and it looks ready to go and there isn't news, I'm not gonna lie, I'll probably still trade it. But the general rule of thumb is, you know, you want to see news on the week for your swing trades and you want to see news on the day for your intraday trades, because it's essentially just guaranteeing that price wants to move. So it's just a great filter. If you just apply that, you'll find yourself not getting chopped up as much. Like you won't find yourself getting caught in lethargic consolidation days as much. FOMC sounds like a rapper. FOMC. What trades have you took this week? Can you show us? I took a bunch last week. Let me remember, bro. Yeah, I can run through my trades maybe at the end of the stream, but I gotta get through the forecast. I took silver. I took 2 L's last week on swings, surprisingly. So I'm starting off the month red, but you will see how that doesn't affect me at all, bro. You know, I have an entire month to continue to trade, bro. I'm not worried about it at all. Took 2 L's on swings last week, and then I took a nice win on silver. So I think I was break even on the week if you want to combine the intraday and swing trading. Yeah, I could do it at the end, but I gotta run through. All right, so Tuesday we have red folder GBP. So pound is good to trade, you know, intraday. Any pound pairs, anything like that of that nature, you can trade intraday on Tuesday. Wednesday we have CPI, FOMC. You know, we have a bunch of news. So we have USD, pound, CAD, AUD. So the crosses are going to be nice. I'm looking forward to this. So when we have these big 3 news drivers in the middle of the week, you know, Wednesday, wherever, you tend to see price kind of hold up and wait for that delivery. It's not, again, this is not a set in stone guarantee type of thing. It's more so a rule of thumb. A lot of the things that I say are just rules of thumb. You know, it's probabilistically speaking. So probability wise, you know, the market tends to hold up for these big 3 news drivers, big 3 being CPI, FOMC, and NFP. And we just kind of act lethargic pre-FOMC. So that's something that I'm expecting on, you know, indices, on the majors, like the USD majors, any of these majors over here on the right. You know, dollar, I'm expecting it to kind of wait for FOMC. That's what tends to happen. Obviously, if that doesn't happen, you know, I'll adjust. I'll read the price action if we begin to push, but I just don't really see a reason for us to expand on Monday and Tuesday when there's no news, and then FOMC, CPI, all the red folders on Wednesday. So I think it's very likely that US dollar, you know, majors, indices, they're pretty lethargic early into this week. And then Wednesday, you know, once that strikes, the volatility comes in, and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are going to be beautiful for executions, in my opinion. So that is how we use the economic calendar as our roadmap. You know, it already gives me an idea of what days are likely to expand. So yeah, intraday traders, GBP, USD, Canadian dollar, AUD, all good intraday. Thursday, USD red folder, PPI, unemployment claims, yen, and then yen and USD on Friday. So long story short, the game plan for this week is, I'll enter swings Monday, Tuesday, whenever. I'll enter my swings, but I'm not going to be focusing on intraday, anything on USD until Wednesday. So that's my game plan, and I'm expecting dollar to kind of relax until Wednesday. At least that's my opinion. So let me look at the chat, and then I'll start breaking down price. But that's a great example. This is a perfect example of how we use the economic calendar every week as our roadmap. We haven't even started Monday, and I already have an idea of how price is likely to deliver this week. So what you tend to see is, when we have news driver on Wednesday, Monday, Tuesday may make the low week, and then Wednesday can deliver it higher, so we can get distribution on Wednesday, or Wednesday will make the low week. It kind of depends, but the point is, the distribution comes after the red folder. So anything after Wednesday, that's where I'm expecting more expansion for the weekly profile. Watching this while doing homework, that's dedication. I'll add FOMC to my trading vocab. Yeah, that's a new meme. FOMC is crazy. Rates, yeah. For swings, do you take into consideration orange folder? I use purely red. But again, I'm not too weird about it. It's more of a rule of thumb for me. Like, it's something I like to see. But yeah, I use red. GJ, EG. Yeah. All right, I'm done with the news. Now I'm gonna run through dollar. I always run through dollar first. I literally just go through this list. So every single Sunday, for those that have been watching my videos, for those that have been tuning into my content and everything, you guys know that this is my list. This is all I use. This is my trading plan. Call it Inception. And I literally run through this filtering process every single Sunday. And what it does is it builds a list of interest for the week. So within these filters right here on the right, long, short, and wait, that is my pairs that I'm interested in. That is the pairs that have my attention for that week. So every single week, this is what I do on Sunday. I said this in one of my YouTube videos, but there's a quote from ICT, and basically he says, if there's no consistency in how you approach the market, then how do you expect to have consistency in your results? So you need to approach the market in a consistent way. You need to have a consistent, edge trading plan that you act on. Consistently manage your risk and emotions. And then only then is when you will find consistency and consistently profiting, or consistent profitability. What's good, sensei? Low FOMC? Yeah, it's kind of hard. But you hold swings on crosses throughout CPI and FOMC. Yeah, Jimmy, that's something that I've been experimenting with. I don't have a set in stone answer for you yet. I've only been swinging for, I think, 2 months now. But I feel like on the 4 hour, you generally can do it. The big three USD, so like CPI and FOMC on USD, they definitely affect crosses 100%. But I don't know if it's that significant to where you can't manage risk. So I almost think it's fine, especially if you're on the 4 hour or in like a higher time frame swing. So I'm leaning more towards yes, yeah. Like Pickle said, on the 4 hour you should be fine. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm leaning more that way as well. But the thing is, like, I asked myself, do I want to trade a big personal account that way? I don't know. I'm not sure. Still something I'm kind of figuring out. Yeah, in terms of crosses and majors, it's definitely not as significant. It definitely has an effect. Don't get me wrong. Definitely affects crosses, but I don't think it's to the point where you can't manage your risk. So for that reason, I would say, yeah, I'll hold them through. But on a big ass, personal account, I'm just not sure if I want to trade that way or not. Still something I'm figuring out. So just constant refinement, constant understanding your data, and figuring it out along the way. That's all trading is. All right, let's look at dollar. I'm gonna run through it. So last week was interesting. I think we're finally starting to get some clarity on dollar. You know, before this monthly candle, I don't want to go break down all my pre-analysis, but before this monthly candle, you know, we disrespected this monthly CIBI, and I was looking at this buy side liquidity, this external range liquidity, to be the draw because we failed to offer fair value. So now we should seek opposing liquidity. But, you know, as you can see, what we've been doing is mainly just consolidating. Why is this taking so long? Mainly just been consolidating. We swept this previous month's low. As you can see, this, you know, every candle you could consider a premium or discount array, because this wick, this monthly wick, if we drop into the lower time frame, is going to be a swing point. It's going to be an old low. It's going to be liquidity that price is taking. So this wick right here, I already know that that's a swing low on the lower time frame, and it's a discount array. So premium array, discount array, and we've swept this previous month's low. We swept this liquidity, and this wick on the monthly is going to be fair value gaps on the lower time frames. So that being said, that's what I'm seeing on the monthly. You know, we failed to offer fair value here and head lower and disrespected this CIBI. Now we're sweeping the previous month's low and potentially heading higher. Dropping into the weekly. This is that previous month's low that we're sweeping on the weekly. Beautiful wick. You know, I'm always gauging the candles and how they react to these areas of liquidity, how they react to the fair value gaps. So I'm really only using, you know, a fair value gap or a stop hunt. So these are the two PD arrays I use personally. So I don't want to get too in depth here, but I use stop hunts in the direction of my draw, and then I use fair value gap retracements obviously in the direction of that draw. And to me, this looks like a stop hunt to continue higher. You know, this weekly order flow, based on how I identify order flow, is still bullish. The monthly order flow as well is bullish to me. Well, mechanically, it actually is bearish to me, but I don't want to get confusing here. Based on external and internal, like I talked about, you know, we're failing to offer this fair value, and I'm looking for us to seek liquidity. So that's why I'm bullish. But mechanically, this weekly order flow is definitely bullish to me, and I want to view these runs on sell side as stop hunts to continue in that same direction. I'm definitely leaning bullish here, just looking at this on dollar. I'm going to get rid of this. So we have weekly bullish order flow. We have a continuation stop hunt where they ran that previous month's low, the sell side liquidity. And, you know, I want to see if there's fair value gaps created on the daily and 4 hour in the direction of heading higher. So it looks like I very much think that after an expansion like this on Dixie, you know, look at how huge this expansion was. After an expansion like this on Dixie, we're much more likely to consolidate. And then we also factor in what we thought about the economic calendar and how there's no news on Monday or Tuesday for dollar. Makes me think even more that we're likely to consolidate. So I really would be hesitant on dollar. I'll be very surprised. You know, of course I can be wrong. Of course that it's not 100%, but I'd be very surprised if we expand on Monday on dollar, personally, in my opinion. You know, I would like to see a form of retracement or consolidation candle here, and then set up that daily for value gap. But definitely bullish on dollar, and then I want to see us continue higher. Because to me, this looks like the daily is, you know, shifting state of delivery. This is bearish order flow. To me, this looks like the daily is now shifting bullish, which would make sense if that is a, you know, continuation stop hunt on the weekly. So bullish dollar. I want to see this daily for value gap get created, and then I'll be looking to potentially long anything USD XXX and short anything XXX USD. So when there's clear, you know, draws on dollar, and there's clear just direction, that's when I want to execute on majors personally. So if these equal highs up here, we have what to me looks like will be a nice daily buy model to continue higher. So this is the way I'm leaning. And, you know, like we talked about, these up close candles from the opposing side of the curve, they become areas of mitigation for smart money. Yeah. Hold on. I'm on live stream. All right. Yeah, these order blocks or up close candles from the sell side of the curve will now be areas of order mitigation for smart money on the buy side of the curve in a buy model. So from here, whoops, I did that wrong. So yeah, it's just a good little tip. If you mark out these up close candles from that side of the curve, the opposing side of the curve, that's where you look for smart money to mitigate their orders and where you're expecting these PD rays to form on the buy side of the curve. But if you literally just focus on the most recent swing low to swing high in these current price legs, it pretty much already puts you in place to trade those areas of order mitigation. So you're kind of doing it without even thinking about it. So that's my analysis on dollar. There's no reason to drop into the 4 hour on Sunday. Yeah, MWD. You know, I read the wicks, I read the liquidity in fair value gaps, and use the external and internal liquidity to act as a filter. Stagnation, what's good, my boy? How's everybody doing? All right, let me look at the chat. Ario is too big now to get personal insight from him. Hope I can get. Yeah, it's tough, dude. Ario's a good dude, but when you get big like that, it's kind of it's out of his control, you know. He's big. So he's only one man, you know. He can't really get to everyone, so it's just the reality of it. We're both here for you. Yes, sir. When you have many trade ideas going into a week, how do you keep up with it? That's a great question. So when I have a lot of things, once I filter through this list and I have a lot of things that I'm looking at that I really like, I will get even more decisive throughout the week. So essentially I filter all these pairs, right? Like I just mentioned before, I filter all these pairs for a list of interest. And then if I have a lot of things I'm interested in, I'm essentially filtering those once again for the highest probability pair. So when I have a lot of things that I like, if I have say 7, 8, 4, whatever the number is, quantity, I'm filtering those to say, of all these, you know, previously filtered ones, what is the highest probability, you know, pair out of those. So it's essentially running it through an extra filter. You know, I'm just very picky throughout the week. So essentially I'm just asking myself, you know, which trade idea is the highest probability, which one is, you know, feeling the best to me. So I'm not sure if I explained that well, but in swing trades, you care about if you're in a kill zone. Nah, I don't care about kill zones in swing trading. When you're swing trading on the 4 hour, kill zones become really insignificant. When you're intraday trading, when you're at the mercy of the 1 minute, the 5 minute, and the 15 minute, that is when you need to trade within those time ranges, those kill zones, because those are just time ranges of volatility. You know, you're trying to get in and out positions in the same day, so you need volatility at that time. So that's what the kill zones are for. But when you're swing trading, you know, I'm good to hold a position for days, you know, even a week, and I don't need to worry about entering in the kill zone because I don't need it to move right now, you know. So pickle and patiently are for the people. Yes, sir. Wait, why was that like a tongue twister? Pickle and patiently are for the people. Pickle and patiently are. April 3rd candle fair value gap. On what time frame? I don't know what time frame you're talking about, brother. Maybe it was, I don't know. That consolidation makes sense given Monday, Tuesday lack of news. Exactly, brother. Exactly. Yeah, makes perfect sense that we would, you know, either retrace slightly or consolidate on Monday and Tuesday, or well, definitely on Monday with the lack of news based on that Forex factory. Why wouldn't you consider the fair value gap below price on the weekly part of the range? This? Because this fair value gap, this area of price, you know, anything over here has already been mitigated, essentially. It's already been utilized. I really only like to use unmitigated fair value gaps, and I focus on fair value and liquidity. So right now, to me, we are sweeping this sell side liquidity, and all I need to see that is, all I need to see that is, you know, this current price action. I don't need any of this to know that. It's crazy, you know, once you really start to understand it. I literally don't need any of this. Like, I can trade like that and be fine. If you told me I can only trade like this, I would still be profitable. I'm on a live I'm on live stream. The Meatloaf, what's that from? Oh, that's definitely Will Ferrell, right? I forget what movie that is. The Meatloaf. Let higher time frame cook and chill until FOMC. Yeah, bro's about to have me saying FOMC now. I might just have to start saying FOMC for the memes, bro. I'm a man of the culture. We got everyone in here for real. Let's go. Zag's the GOAT, man. I love you, Zag. You're my guy. Yo, you starting mentorship, starting your website. That's a question you'll have to ask Sir Pickle. We're considering it. I don't know. And I don't know if we're gonna do mentorship together. I don't know if I'm gonna do it by myself. I don't know if I'm gonna do it at all. I'm still figuring that out. Maybe. But I am doing one-on-one sessions with people for sure. I started doing that. So I'm doing paid one-on-one mentoring sort of thing. But a private mentorship Discord type thing, I don't know if we're gonna end up doing or not. We're still kind of figuring that out. Or if we're gonna do it separate and everything. Just, I have no idea, honestly. That's the truth. But yeah, I'm doing like one-on-ones with people. Can you talk about gold? For sure. I will be running through gold. It's at the bottom of my entire list. I gotta get through it. I be getting distracted by the chat. I don't care about kill zones in 1 hour entries personally. You're like pushing it there, but it's still a swing type of entry for me. Mitigated and fair value is already offered. Exactly. You swing when trading. So you can swing futures, but not with the props. So no, I don't. You know, because I'm just trading futures prop. I don't have a futures personal account funded yet. But if I was trading a personal account on futures, yeah, I would swing. I would swing them for sure, for sure. You swing trade on the prop firms too? Yes, sir. Oh, it's from Wedding Crashers. Okay, okay. Check GU. Got you, got you. All right, let me get through this list. What would be included in the one-on-one sessions? I'm basically gonna teach the entire model that I trade, teach exactly how I view price and my trading plan, and then just reverse engineer any issues that you're having, because I can give you my trading plan, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna be profitable with it. So everything that I'm gonna, you know, have on the YouTube is gonna be for free. Like, you can figure it out, you can learn from the YouTube free content. But if you want, you know, personal help and my time, like if I'm giving you hours of my time, teaching you and showing you what your issues are, shortening your learning curve effectively, that's, you know, why I would charge for the one-on-one sessions. And that's what I would be doing in them. We'd kind of be reverse engineering what's preventing you from being profitable. So I'm going to be doing those. If you guys want to book those, there's a link on my Calendly. But yeah, I'm just doing like one-on-ones, helping people essentially. Only ETF allows you the ability. Yeah, that's facts. I forgot to mention that. Got you, Zach. Yeah, not for real though. None of the props allow other than Elite Trader funding. They have a swing account. It's called Diamond Hands. Now your messages aren't invisible, bro. What if I already have your trading plan and a lot of knowledge? That's awesome. Yeah, that's great. You know, if you want to continue to learn just off the free content, I completely understand. But if you want your learning curve shortened, and if you want me to kind of fix whatever is preventing you from being profitable, that's what the one-on-ones would be for. All right. No more questions. Me, at least for now. Let me run through this. All right, AU monthly order flow is bearish. This monthly fair value gap is failing to deliver price higher, and this makes sense because of our stance on dollar. So if I'm bullish on dollar, I'm bearish on AU, EU, GU, and NU. And the fact that we're failing to expand higher from this monthly fair value gap, you know, shows me that we're likely going to seek this candle low and this candle low, this liquidity. So this monthly BISI, it's not delivering price higher. If we were bullish and wanted to continue higher, we would have expanded off that. There's a really small fair value gap here. If you want to use this as internal draw, be my guest. But what I'm really seeing is just a sweep of these highs. Draw it to this fair value gap lower. I'm bullish again on Dixie, so I'm going to be bearish on AU. So this order block, this fair value gap should be the draw on AU. Daily fair value gap should form on Monday again. I'm not expecting much from dollar, so I wouldn't be expecting much from the majors either. Most likely some form of small retracement higher or just a consolidation type of candle that forms a fair value gap. And then we can, you know, potentially deliver lower off that throughout the week. So we'll see how that goes, but I am expecting lower on AU. You know, I'll add it to the short list. I do think that majors are potentially setting up for this week if Dixie, you know, heads higher and has that clear fair value gap. But yeah, this could be good. So I'll add that. I'm gonna go ahead and just delete my drawings. Pretty much same analysis. You know, this fair value gap has failed to push price higher. We tagged into it here, we closed below it here, we expanded higher, and you know, this is, to me, I just understand that this is from dollar. You know, the direction of dollar is going to determine where these majors draw to, essentially. And I'm expecting lower on EU. Again, if I'm bullish dollar, I'm bearish on AU, EU, GU, and NU. So I already know that. So I'll be looking at slow, dropping to the weekly. Again, I'm always focusing on the current price leg. So the most recent swing low, swing high. We're failing to deliver higher off of this weekly fair value gap. So I'm expecting lower on EU as well. And we could be getting, again, a nice internal to external context to operate off of on majors. Gonna be the same analysis pretty much on everything. GU has been stronger in general, but I'm not going to, you know, be trying to long GU when I'm bullish on dollar. That doesn't make any sense to me. This has a very clear draw to internal, but again, GU has been stronger. I'm expecting this to draw towards here and most likely have a small reaction before, you know, invalidating it. I'm not expecting GU to head higher off of this personally. Again, this would be a nice daily context lower. Target that internal on the weekly. Monthly order flow, bearish. Weekly internal draw here. Very clear. Swept this previous week high. Daily for value gap getting created here again. Like we talked about, I'm not interested in these USD pairs in dollar, etc. on Monday. I'm expecting them to consolidate based on the news, based on the economic calendar, and based on, you know, when we have an expansion like this. I mean, this is a huge expansion. We're very likely to consolidate on the following day. So everything to me is signaling chop on Monday. But again, I like shorts on anything XXX USD. Now the inverse is true for anything USD XXS, because if US dollar is bullish, then when US dollar is the base currency of these pairs, these will also be bullish, and then the inverse for when it's a quote currency. Monthly order flow, bullish. Weekly order flow, bullish. Love to see this, but there's no really clear context to me. You could argue that if you use context like this, you could say, you know, buy side from here, it's just really wonky. I would rather wait for like a daily context to operate off of. This could be really nice here. We create a for value gap. And yeah, I like this for longs. Could be really nice. So majors are finally shaping up. I love to see that. And the beauty of this trading plan, the beauty of trading both futures and Forex with Inception with a filtering process is when these majors are clear, I'm going to swing trade them. So I'm going to be entering swings on these majors when they're clear and when dollar's clear. And I'm going to be intraday trading these currency futures. So I'll be, entering trades in New York, intraday on these. And I'll probably be taking some trades overnight because a lot of these currencies move overnight really nicely, in London, in Asia. So it's literally the best of both worlds with this trading plan, futures and Forex. You're milking both asset classes, instruments, whatever. And it's just beautiful. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's just amazing. I can't say it enough. So yeah, USD CHF monthly internal, looking for this to now seek liquidity. So we have a very clear draw. If you haven't seen the video I just dropped yesterday on ERL and IRL, definitely need to do that. Absolute game changer. Literally the easiest way to see draw on liquidity. Literally the easiest way. When we have a clear draw like this on the monthly, we have an entire month of bias. We have an entire month of knowing the likely direction of price. So if we're bullish biased on the weekly, daily, 4-hour, those higher time frame PD rays are going to hold in the direction of that draw. And it's just a month of, high probability trading. So if we're expanding this entire month, you want to be milking this entire month longs, discount raise in the direction of that monthly bias. So weekly internal to external here, I'm going to actually put that back. Already big fan, big fan. And I'll get into later why I'm a really big fan of USD CHF this week. It looks really good to me. I'll elaborate later in the stream. This isn't, yeah, I'm a big fan. This is probably my top watch right now. This looks great. Weekly order flow bullish, pullback, again, bullish dollar, which means I'm bullish anything USD XXX. Daily is now potentially shifting state of delivery here from that monthly for value gap. So once we get this daily for value gap, again, I'm not interested on Monday. I'm expecting some form of retracement, consolidation candle to set up this fair value gap, and then I'm going to be looking for swings on USD CHF from that daily for value gap for sure. So if you want a freebie, if you want a free swing, this looks really good. Not financial advice, disclaimers in the description. Make sure you look at the disclaimer, but this looks great, bro. Big fan. I just had a stroke or some shit. All right, monthly order flow bullish, weekly order flow bullish. Love to see the higher time frame order flow in alignment with my draw on liquidity. So these USD XXX majors look really good to me for longs. All the order flow is in alignment to continue higher here. So again, I want to see if we create a fair value gap here on yen, but every major is on the watch list. Has that happened in months? I don't think so. Who's the dude in the chat? That I know you were joking. I know you're completely joking, but I just think it's funny if you're here. That's saying I never trade majors. Finally, we're trading majors, bro. Let's go. Hopefully, I can take some trades on them. They look really good if dollar continues higher. All right, let me run through the chat really quick, and then I'll get into crosses. Bro, y'all are going crazy. I love it. Check GU. I just did. Hey, yo. Pickle. Okay. Can you show long and short list, please? Yeah, I haven't even made it yet, bro. I'm making it right now. Can you explain how you trail your stop loss? That's a great question. I can definitely do that. Can you ask that question again? And like once I get through the filtering list, I'll go through that. That's a great question. Your Calendly link doesn't work anymore. Maybe it's an issue on my end. If you want to message me on Discord or something, I'll get it figured out. That's weird that it's not working. Wait, let me check really quickly. Because it should be working, bro. I'm going to really quickly check. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. I know what it is. I know what it is. The link changed. All right, let me change it really fast. because the link changed. So it's just probably not taking you to the right spot. Copy link. Let me just adjust this really fast. Sorry guys. Take me 2 seconds. Let me go back through the chat now. All right, that's fixed. Thank you for mentioning that, by the way. Can it load? Sorry, hold on. Okay, it's fixed now. Should be all set. All right, let me look at the chat. And then I'm gonna answer a couple questions and then I'll go through the rest of the crosses, rest of the filtering. I do want my learning curve to be shortened. I am at the break-even phase for months. Bro, the break-even phase is amazing though. Don't get it twisted. You know, the break-even phase is amazing. That means you're tapping on the glass of being profitable, and it just means that you have a couple things that you have to iron out. You know, if you have a profitable trading plan, somehow you're dulling that edge and you're just breaking even. So you got to figure out in what ways are you dulling your own edge. It's a lot of reverse engineering and just kind of figuring out, you know, what am I doing wrong that's preventing me from profiting from this model. So I took the rule MWD from you. I love that. That's such a great rule, bro. If you filter this way and just use the monthly, weekly, daily and only trade things with clear draws, you're going to watch how much more frequently you're going to be on side and you're going to be in alignment with where price is heading. Just try it for a week and come back to me, and I guarantee all of you will see what I mean. How do you manage your trades? Yeah, I'll go through that at the end of the stream. You guys just got to remind me at the end. Swept that short-term high, long FEG for Drake candles. Any mentorship that is worthwhile should iron our creases you have and level up your decision making and execution. Only take a steady. Yeah, facts, bro. Bro, Zag just be when Zag Nation speaks in the chat, it's poetic. This guy just has a way with words. Learning from someone more experienced and having them quickly identify what you're overlooking. Exactly. Yeah, it's just a shortened learning curve. It's hands-on. And it's only fair. You know, I give out as much free content as possible, and it's all going to be out there. But if you want, you know, my personal time and my, you know, the white glove, if you want me personally helping you, spending hours of my days, then of course I have to charge for that. It's only fair. You know, you don't go get golf lessons or you don't go get swim lessons and they don't do them for free. So that's why I would charge for the one-on-ones. Do you use SMT? I do on and off. It doesn't really stick out to me, but I think there's other ways of identifying relative strength and weakness that are better. Well, not better, just they make more sense to my brain, if that makes sense. Yeah, we just trade support and resistance. Not gonna lie. It is the truth though. Like that's facts. It's just way better support and resistance. Way more precise. GU looks short for me. Yep, I'm seeing the same. I'm seeing shorts on GU for sure, for sure. Damn, bro, this is hella chat. I love this though. This is a good problem to have. Have you looked at gold? Nah, I have not. I will be looking at gold at the. It's down here in my list. So I'm gonna run through. You know, I've already run through the majors. I'm just catching up on the chat really quickly. AUD NZD for sure, for sure. We'll get to that. Don't sleep on anything. Trading patiently and pick will put out seriously if they collaborate on a mentorship. Exactly, bro. I've been trying to tell him, Zag. I've been trying to tell him. Appreciate that. Dynamic duo. That's my dog. For real, bro. Pickle's my guy. I'm blessed to have met him. Check out the 4-hour relative equal highs on USD CHF. Looks clean. Yup. Let me look at that. Dude, USD CHF looks so good. Oh my gosh. Look at all this liquidity. OC. That's the OC. Yeah, this looks beautiful, bro. I'm very, very, very interested in USD CHF. That's my top watch as of right now. It's Expansion candle equals Drake candle. All right. I'm going through the crosses now. Let's get it. Let's get it. Monthly order flow looks like it's shifting bullish to me. We swept this sell side, created a new fair value gap higher, and are respecting that. This overlapping order block and fair value gap. To me, this monthly order flow is shifting bullish. It has pretty much shifted bullish once this fair value gap forms. But so bullish on that weekly order flow. Let me get rid of these off the weekly. Weekly order flow is bullish as well. We offered fair value here and swept that liquidity. So this is kind of a weird spot on the weekly where I would just kind of want to wait for more context. And we swept that buy side liquidity. And yeah, it looks like we're creating new fair value gaps lower. So I don't love this. Not much that I'm seeing right now. So I'm not going to add it to the list. I would be more interested in longs if they clear up on AUD CAD. AUD CHF, we were looking at this fair value gap previously as the draw, and we wanted to see if price wanted to expand higher from that fair value gap. We're failing to do so right now, which is interesting. Just completely disrespecting it. This is a very clear top on the weekly. We have this weekly OB here, but yeah, this is a tough read to me as well. This monthly order flow is bearish. Monthly fair value gap is failing. See this heading lower. New fair value gap lower would be nice, but I will add it to the wait list. I kind of want to see what it does at this order block, but this liquidity could become the target next. So I'm gonna add this to the wait list for potential shorts, but I would wait for more context. Like, I'd like to have some nice daily context here to short that off of potentially, but yeah, interesting. I'll add it to the wait list. Monthly order flow is bullish. Weekly bullish, tagged into this order block now. I want to see what price does on the lower time frames. If we do shift state of delivery on the 4-hour, looks like we have potentially here. If we continue higher from here, I'm gonna wait on this because I don't really like this strong of a pullback. But if we create a new fair value gap higher on the 4-hour, could be interesting for longs. I'm going to be a bit more demanding of this because I don't love this delivery right now. So this is kind of where the intuition side of things kick in. I get this question a lot about high probability, low probability, things like that. And this is a good example of where I would probably just wait for more confirmation, right? I don't really like this delivery here. But if we do create new fair value gaps higher, I definitely see this liquidity being targeted, and new fair value gaps higher could be nice. So I'll add that to the long list potentially, but it's not amazing, but it's not terrible. AUDNZD. I see a lot of people talking about AUDNZD lately. This order flow is interesting. It's just been, a monthly straight chop, but if the weekly and daily are really expanding, you can still trade within that personally, or at least that's my opinion. So if we shift on the daily, state of delivery higher, it could be nice context to operate within from IRL to ERL on the monthly. I want to see the daily shift state of delivery here. And then again, like I mentioned before, these up close candles in the sell side of the curve, so this would be a daily buy model that's forming higher. These up close candles are going to become areas of mitigation for smart money. This is where they're going to offload their orders. So they're distributing price lower into that monthly discount array, and they're flipping long, and they're mitigating those shorts at these areas. So you don't need to do this. I just like doing it. It's kind of fun. Just a cool thing to see. So just something I like to look out for. But if you just focus on the current price leg, you just focus on this swing low to the next swing high that forms, you're indirectly kind of trading these. Well, not kind of. You are indirectly trading these areas of mitigation already. So you don't really need to think about it. But yeah, I want to, wait for a new daily for value gap higher. And then this could be long. So or this could be nice for longs. So I think it needs a little bit more time to cook, but I'm a fan. Longs could be nice. This looks like it could be setting a really nice structure for a buy model. Monthly order flow is bearish. I want to gauge the reaction from this monthly for value gap here, but very clearly the draw at the moment is this internal on the monthly. We ran these highs. I think I was calling this out in a previous live stream, when we ran this buy side, I was looking at this as the draw. So it's been really nice delivery lower. Just clear one-sided delivery, but right now it's just consolidating. I'm looking at this as the draw, but I'm not too interested in this right now. There's not much that I'm seeing. I want to gauge, how we react from this monthly level. If we disrespect it and fail it, then we could look to target that liquidity on the monthly. But monthly order flow is bullish. Weekly, did it run this low? It's made relative equal lows. It's just interesting. It's not acting great right now. I'm not a big fan of this either. Another thing I like to do, obviously I do it after, but once I have a clear draw on these currencies, that's when I spin back to these crosses and I'm like, all right, these currencies are going to be weak. These currencies are going to be strong. And then these pairs are the ones that look good. So that's something I like to do as well. Not much here on CHFJPY, just swept that monthly buy side, weekly buy side, whatever. We're sweeping it based on that wick. So could be a potential return back to fair value, internal range liquidity here, but it would be counter trend shorts, and I personally don't like to swing counter trend. It's just a rule for me. I'm not a fan of shorting this towards fair value. You can do it, be my guest, there's nothing wrong with doing that. I just personally don't like to do it, but I would be looking at that internal potentially as a draw. If the 4 hour here begins to shift state of delivery lower. So the weekly again is our premium array. I want to view the 4 hour order flow and see if we shift state of delivery and continue lower. If not, maybe we just head higher. So I don't know. It's my analysis. Monthly order flow is bullish. Straight chop. Straight chop. This is gross, bro. I'm good on this. Like insta skip, bro. I'm good. I don't even need to waste my breath on it. Monthly order flow is bullish. Weekly, heading higher. This isn't terrible. We do have this daily context now. I don't like all the wicks on this pair. Just pretty gross wicks. A very wicky pair. So I'm not a huge fan of this. I'll add it. Will I trade it? Probably unlikely. There's going to be something higher probability than that. But failed to head higher off of this area of fair value, the overlapping order block and fair value gap. We have this monthly BISI down here that could be acting as the draw. Looks like the monthly wants to offer fair value here, which would make sense why this weekly area did not hold, because the monthly draw is lower, right? So the monthly is always going to take higher precedence. It's always going to be a stronger draw on liquidity. Yes, this was a bag, but the way that fair value gaps are pointing now, looks like that fair value gap is acting as a draw. So that's why this failed. Weekly is definitely shifting state of delivery here and heading lower. So shorts look good on this. I'm gonna add this to the short list. Gross. EG looks yucky. I'm good on that. Monthly order flow bullish. Failed to I don't even know if that's yeah, it is a little fair value gap, but let's see if it draws to this weekly internal. Maybe the case here. Don't love it. I guess longs to internal could be fine. The monthly order flow is bullish. I'm gonna add it to the long list. Again, not a huge fan, but I'll add it. Good enough. Weekly. EJ and GJ were on watch for us for longs lately. We're pulling back, offering for value on the weekly. It's just yucky delivery lately. Straight consolidation right now. If this shows intention to actually expand, you know, creates a new for value gaps higher, shows intention to actually want to move up like we expect it to, that's when I would be interested in it again. But for right now, I'll throw it on the wait list. Could be good for long slow. GA is pushing off this monthly order block. This is one of the pairs I was doing a little case study on when it wasn't as clear, and I ultimately was bullish on it, which is nice to see. You know, even when things are ugly and confusing to me, you know, it's nice to see that I'm still getting the bias right. Love that. Created this new weekly for value gap higher. Yeah, this is nice. Clearly expanding. I like this for longs. Daily context here, potentially to long off of. Looks good. I like that. Notice the difference though. You see the difference in some of these pairs that I'm looking at, where I'm like, these aren't as nice. I'm not a big fan. These are disgusting. I'm fully skipping them. And then these, you know, look really good. You'll see the difference just in the price action. One-sided delivery. You know, clear fair value gaps on the higher time frame. Clear draws on liquidity from internal to external, or vice versa. So just really pay attention to that while I'm doing these. This looks solid for longs as well. We may create new fair value gaps here. Interesting. It may still draw to this fair value gap before heading higher. I'll add this to the long list. Again, I'm picky, but I'm not that picky. You know, I filter for clear draws and liquidity, and then throughout the week I'm trimming it down. And throughout the week is where I get extra picky. It's where I'm like, all right, is this pair the highest probability of the pairs? Is this actually something I want to trade, or should I just, you know, get rid of it? So throughout the week I get even more picky. So I'm a little more lenient. You know, I just filter for draws on liquidity, things that feel obvious to me. And then throughout the week I get extra picky, and I'm like, all right, of those clear draws on liquidity, what is the highest probability? That is where the win rate comes from. That's where, you know, intuition kicks in a little bit. But it's order block here. Pretty deep retracement. I'm not the biggest fan. If we create new daily for value gaps higher, then maybe you could operate within that weekly context, but I'm not. GJ took an L on GJ last week. I was looking to oh yeah, that's gross. I forgot about this. I longed it. All right, so GJ, I'll break it down real quick. GJ has been very bullish on the monthly. On the weekly, we have this internal to external draw. So this fair value gap. Internal to external. Order block, you know, fair value, seek liquidity. Now, we created this clean bottom, clear for value gaps higher on GJ, and I longed this 4-hour for value gap, and I got a bit cute with my stop loss because I was expecting more expansion that week, and I covered this. Yeah, so pretty gross, you know, stop loss here. It is what it is. That's the reality of trading. But yeah, that's pretty gross to see. If we do end up delivering next week, it is what it is. But I just got a little bit cute. You know, ideally you want your stop at the protected lows, but I wasn't able to get 2R with it, so I got cute with it. Is what I like to call those type of stop losses. So is what it is. Took an L on GJ. I do ultimately think that EJ and GJ do deliver higher, but I wouldn't really be interested until we create new 4-hour for value gaps, and then maybe from like here. If we do expand, then I can take a long like that if I can get 2R. So I'll add it, but kind of yucky. Holy delivery, that's wild. Monthly order flow is bullish. Weekly. Again, I'm only focusing when I'm trading off of the PD race. I'm not really focused on this. I like to draw it out for, you know, internal external move, but I'm really focused on the daily most recent order flow. So there's going to be a swing high that forms here, and for value gap that forms, I do expect some form of consolidation, but I'm going to add that to the long list. New Zealand dollar CAD sweeping this monthly buy side liquidity. We haven't created this monthly for value gap yet, which is interesting. We have this weekly for value gap down here, and based on this wick, based on if the 4-hour, daily, etc. point towards it, this could be the draw on liquidity. So it'd be from external to internal. To me, this would be counter trend. I do consider this order flow bullish right now. Weekly order flow bullish to me. But could be nice shorts towards that weekly for value gap. Counter trend though, so I'm not the biggest fan. I'll add it. I probably won't trade it, but it doesn't look terrible if you're not picky about the counter trend stuff. This is just gross price action. Order block, no for value gaps on the monthly, just consolidating. Weekly is not delivering higher. We were watching this to potentially deliver higher from this for value gap, but obviously on the 4-hour, you know, the lower time frames, that they did not confirm that idea of heading higher, so we did not trade this. You know, we just are validating this for value gap. So looks like a pretty clear top to me, and this wants to go lower, but not the biggest fan. I don't really have clear draw on this, and monthly order flow is bearish, so I kind of like that about it. If there is a daily, you know, context here that forms from internal to external, could be nice. So I'm actually going to add that. I like that it's in alignment with the monthly and that there will be this context to operate off of. So shorts from here could be nice. It looks like a really clean daily sell model. Add that as well. Not to mention, you know, I'll get into it in a second, but I feel Swiss franc feels really, really clear right now. Like super, super clear. So I'm really interested in Swiss franc pairs, because when I have a really, really, really clear understanding of what the currency is doing, I want to focus on its pairs, because then I understand what they're doing as well. Same thing with dollar and majors. It's the same concept. I'm not interested in NJ. All right, I'm gonna run through the currencies and break down, you know, why I really like Swiss franc pairs. But let me look at 6A. All the currencies, every single futures currency is going to be inverse dollar. So if I'm, you know, expecting higher delivery on dollar, then I'm going to be bearish on these currencies. And these highs, not much on the monthly to look at. Weekly is expanding lower. Daily for value gap getting created lower. Expecting lower prices on Australian dollar. Monthly order flows bullish. We headed higher off this monthly for value gap here, but bullish dollar. Expecting again a pullback. This is going to be the same type of analysis on, well, it is going to be the same analysis on AU, EU, GU, and NU. So you kind of run through it quickly. Straight monthly consolidation. Weekly, again, not much to operate within. If you want to use this context, I guess you can use that. I don't really like to use mitigated for value gaps like this, gross, you know, consolidation in a for value gap as context. But if there's daily context, that's nice, and it looks like that's going to form. So could be nice. You know, I'm going to add these all to the short list because they look they look good, and whatever is the most, you know, high probability, that's what I would trade intraday on futures. But lots of things look good for me this week, not gonna lie, because all the majors and because dollar is setting up. So I'm gonna be super picky throughout the week. I have a really big list right now, but that will get, you know, that will dwindle down throughout the week. That is where I get more picky per se. Not much to like say here, you know. daily for value gap lower. I'm expecting lower prices. This should be a potential sell model now on the daily. Monthly order flow, bearish. Yen has been so weak, bro. You can literally short yen from anywhere and make money. Didn't really create it for value gap here. I'm looking at that liquidity and this liquidity to go. Daily for value gap's lower. So if we create a daily for value gap here, this could be nice. Context for lower. All these currencies are going to be weak. Weekly, external to internal move here. Pretty clear draw on that. Daily context potentially here, heading lower. Now, look at the difference on this. This is such a beautiful, beautiful draw. You know, I completely understand what Swiss franc wants to do right now. And this is the reason I really like USD CHF and why I like Swiss franc pairs. I'm going to, be taking a look at the other Swiss franc pairs to see if they're clear. But when I have a clear draw lower on Swiss franc, then it just makes it so much easier to trade the pairs. So if Swiss franc is very bearish, then anything XXX CHF is going to be bullish, and then the inverse is true for the base currencies. The monthly internal to external draw on liquidity, super clear and obvious. Love it, love it, love it. Weekly, not much to say about it. We're trading into that monthly premium array. Now the daily is shifting state of delivery here. I want to see this shift state of delivery, continue lower. Should be a beautiful daily sell model. Feels very, very clear to me. I'm just waiting for that daily for value gap. Again, I'm not interested in anything USD related, any majors, anything until, most likely Wednesday. I want to see this daily for value gap set up though, and then for swings potentially on Forex. That's what I'd be interested in. So this looks really, really good. I love Swiss franc right now. It feels super obvious to me that this wants to go lower. Indices, crude oil, gold. Run through those and then I'll get back to the chat. Sorry, it's taking me a while. Monthly order flow bullish. Swept this monthly buy side. Weekly. Sweeping that as well. Internal to external. There was really clear context on indices this whole week. I didn't really catch much of it, but it is what it is. Daily. I want to see what we do from this level here. Do we respect this daily for value gap and expand higher through that buy side? If that's the case, that indicates strength on indices. So I want to see if there's strength on this, on ES through that premium array. But yeah, just waiting on indices. But it could be nice, if we do show strength, head higher. Monthly bullish, gonna be pretty similar analysis here. Weekly, fair value, liquidity. Daily, same thing. I want to see, do we show strength through that area of liquidity and continue higher, or do we wick it and potentially want to pull back here? And I don't even know where we'd be pulling back for right now, but I want to see if there's strength here. This is pretty yucky to me. Definitely weaker. Failed to deliver higher off this area for value. And we may be, seeking this liquidity down here. So these aren't really confirming at least this, Russell isn't confirming the idea of having strength through that right now, at least the way it's looking, which is interesting. Monthly internal to external was a draw, but we're pulling back now. Sorry, I was changing the music. Yeah, not much to say on this. There's really not much for me to say on that. Crude oil. Trading lower, I was bearish on crude oil, like we mentioned in the previous forecast. Looking for value gap here, delivering price lower. This looks like a weekly sell model to me, and I like shorts on crude oil. This looks good. Now I want to see daily context to operate within, which we have right here. Absolutely beautiful. This looks really, really good. So this overlapping order block and fair value gap becomes an area of mitigation. Smart money. Now I want to see this continue lower. So I want to see the 1 hour shift state delivery. You know, I want to see a bit more clarity on the 1 hour, but this looks like it should continue lower. This could be nice for intraday stuff with a clear draw on crude oil. I like that a lot. Crude oil looks good. Who was there for the gold analysis last week? Beautiful. Delivered right to my level. We were short-term bearish on gold towards that monthly fair value gap. When we swept these highs, it became, you know, pretty clear to me from this top that this wanted to head lower and deliver towards that monthly fair value gap we created here. Now I want to gauge price. You know, I want to understand how we react from this monthly fair value gap, because gold very well could shift state of delivery on the daily and continue higher, and we have this clear internal to external move on gold higher. So this is an area where we could potentially, you know, head higher, but right now, you know, it needs more time to cook. You know, right now I'm just waiting. So I'll throw it on the wait list, but this monthly fair value gap could potentially shift state of delivery on the daily and we could continue higher. Or, you know, if this fair value gap fails, we dig deeper into this daily, you know, overlapping with this area here and potentially head higher from there. So just needs more time to cook for longs, but I'm not interested in shorting this right now. And I'm not interested in longs yet. It needs more time to cook. Same thing on copper. Internal has been achieved. I do believe that this is an area where we can, you know, shift state of delivery and head higher. I'm gonna add this as well to the wait list. Needs more time to cook, but essentially, you know, what I'll be waiting for is a daily fair value gap higher to confirm that this is now a daily buy model. And again, same thing, you know, we're looking for these areas to become areas of order mitigation and for price to continue higher. So we'll have an entire month of clear internal to external draw on liquidity on these metals. So I'm going to be looking to trade those intraday. Those are futures. Silver as well. Been bearish, pulling back. Needs more time to cook as well. Throw it on the wait list, but metals could be good for longs. We'll see how they react. Crude oil, I'm bearish. Metals, bullish, essentially. But they need more time to cook. I'm not longing them yet. And yeah, that's pretty much the entire list filtered. Let me just check the chat, get caught up, and I'll answer some of your guys' questions now that we've gotten through the list. I don't use double purge. I've never looked into it. No disrespect to mmxm trader. I think he's a great trader. He's, you know, I have a lot of respect for him, but I have no idea what that is and I don't look at it. So check AUD CHF beautifully, market maker sell model. Yes, sir. Got on the wait list. Let's like the show. Yeah, if you could drop a like on the stream, that'd be amazing. African order block. I don't know what that shit is, bro. I keep seeing people say that. What is an African order block, bro? Seems AUD is bearish though. Are you in a swing trade right now? I'm not in any positions at the moment. Check GU. I already went over GU, bro. Bro, spamming the GU analysis. You did in the beginning of the stream. Yeah, I went over GU twice because I went over 6B, which is GU, and then I went over the normal Forex pair, GU. $63 is crazy. That's definitely the highest so far. Love it, bro. Channel's growing. That's really encouraging. Love to see that. Which pair was that? I don't know which pair I was on at that time. In case you have more than one fair value gap in the dealing range, which one will you paying? Nah, it's a great question. All right, so what was the pair that I was just looking at where I was giving that exact example? Was it just gold? Okay. Nah, that's a great question, bro. So, Emmanuel, this is our dealing range. You know, we're just focusing on the most recent swing low to swing high. This is our current price leg. And as you can see, there are multiple fair value gaps in that range. So to me, as we've been pulling back towards this fair value gap, that's my draw. And this fair value gap can send it higher. You know, this fair value gap here can be enough to send it higher, which is why I really don't worry about discount and premium, and why, you know, you don't see me using this at all, really, because I don't need it. This fair value gap can send it higher, but if we begin to invalidate this fair value gap, you know, the order flow on the lower time frames just stay bearish, they don't shift bullish, then you know that this fair value gap is not holding, and you look to this next fair value gap within that price leg, you know, this overlapping area where this, you know, mitigation block and fair value gap is. So that's my approach with multiple fair value gaps in the price leg. We got Sir Pickle here. Sir Pickle is my dog. On that copper monthly fair value gap. Hold on, wait. On that copper monthly fair value gap, would you trust it since we got a huge rejection from above? I'll trust it once the daily shifts state of delivery and once the daily confirms the idea of heading higher. Right now, I don't trust it yet. You know, I need price to show me more. So it needs more time to cook. But yes, I would trust it if the daily shifts and shows the intention of respecting it and heading higher. Hello, boss. Finally got to join in. Love that, bro. The stream will be recorded, so you can go back and watch it if you want. What's up, Patty? You mentioned USD Swiss franc for longs, but you have strong resistance. There's this fair value gap here that can cause a reaction, but we've already tagged into it a bit. I want to see us create this daily fair value gap higher, and when the draw on liquidity is higher, these opposing PD rays from, you know, this side of the curve are just going to get invalidated. So they'll cause small reactions, but they'll ultimately get invalidated by price. I went over GU like twice, but I'll go over it again if you want. You always talk of trading during the news. How do you do that? Go back in the stream and watch how I went through the Forex factory. At the very beginning of the stream, I talked about how I use the news as a roadmap. You know, going into every week, I use the news as my roadmap. News is just, you know, volatility injection in price. So when you understand the higher time frame draw and you understand where price is headed, news just pushes it quicker in that direction. How do you filter during the week? I basically flip through all these and it's a bit of intuition. It's a bit of understanding the currencies, you know, what is weak, what is strong, what's clear. Like for me, I know I'm really interested in Swiss franc because I feel once this fair value gap forms, Swiss franc's draw is super obvious. Like this feels so clear to me that this wants to go lower. If, you know, we do get a fair value gap here, then it feels very clear. So I know that Swiss franc, right? All right, so this is a little sauce, because I completely get what you're saying in terms of, you know, how do you filter. I get the question all the time about how do you know what's highest probability out of the pairs, etc. So this is a great like look into how I do that. I love looking at the currency futures and then pairing the weak and strong currencies, and then I just get super picky throughout the week. So I read the fair value gaps. You know, what is showing expansion, what is constantly creating fair value gaps and showing one-sidedness. So for example, going into this week, you know, I have a lot of stuff on the long list, right? But I know that I really like USD CHF and that I think it's high probability, because when Swiss franc shifts here and, you know, the draw is very clear on Swiss franc, I know that this is a very weak currency. So we should get really clear one-sidedness lower on Swiss franc. So I want to pair that with a strong currency, and I have a clear, you know, draw most likely on daily higher, on Dixie higher, which is US dollar. So that's a strong dollar and a weak Swiss franc. So I want to pair that together. A weak currency and a strong currency makes clear one-sidedness, you know, strong delivery on the pair. So USD CHF, I really like longs on that, and that's why it feels higher probability to me, because I understand where both currencies are going. Now throughout the week, you know, I have a super long list right now. It's gonna get dwindled down a lot. Keep in mind, you know, I'm only trading the futures, metals, like the currency futures and the metal futures. I'm trading those intraday. So for swings, I'm just looking at the Forex pairs. So yeah, we have a lot, but it's gonna get dwindled down. And the things that don't look the cleanest to me, you know, the things that are consolidating, the things that don't have news, the things that aren't creating fair value gaps or showing, you know, a willingness to expand, I just don't focus on them. So throughout the week, that's like my entire process. That's pretty much the best way I can describe it. You know, I'm understanding the currency futures. I'm pairing weak and strong currencies. And then I'm looking at, out of these, you know, what is really showing willingness to expand? What is creating fair value gaps? What is showing intention to want to move? You have trade management rules when you go break even. Yeah. I started trading at 20. It might have been 19, late 19. I was either late, like I was about to turn 20, or early 20. I don't know, one of the two. But I'm 24 now. So will Dixie continue to reject up from the weekly OB and break old highs? Yeah, I'm looking for this to expand higher now. I'm looking for this to, you know, get validated, become an area of mitigation as we continue to expand higher. But I already went through all this earlier in the stream, and, you know, I'm not expecting one-sided delivery on Monday yet, based on the news, based on the fact that this candle has already expanded so significantly. You do Japan 225. I have no idea what that is, but sure. Is it this CFD? This is gross. This is gross. It just doesn't look good, I'm not gonna lie. But Japan 225. Okay, I mean, it's just different broker fees. Okay, it looks good on the monthly. All right, here's my analysis for you. Monthly order flow is bullish. You know, I always use internal and external to get my draw on liquidity. So it looks like we are, you know, offering fair value here, and can potentially, you know, begin to seek liquidity now on the monthly. So because we've offered fair value from that fair value gap, and we've, you know, had a clear wick higher and respected it, this can begin to, you know, continue higher here. So just off the monthly, I would lean bullish based on the monthly order flow. We're just in a period of, you know, extended consolidation here. This weekly is really gross. The daily looked gross as well. So when I say things are gross, I just mean that it's consolidating. It's not showing a willingness to want to expand right now. So I just tend to not touch it. So like if I was to look at this right now, I wouldn't be interested in it until it creates new fair value gaps higher. We're just consolidating. We did create a small one here. This has just been pretty gross. Yeah, like there's just no other adjective to describe it. It's just gross to me. But again, not disrespecting it, not, you know what I mean? I would just be waiting essentially. So my analysis is I would be waiting for a clear daily fair value gap higher. Once we create that, we can look to continue to long this, because I am, you know, considering this bullish, and I want to see this continue higher from that monthly fair value gap. So bullish on that is what I would lean, but I would be waiting. Like for me to trade this, I would just skip it. It's too, this price action is not favorable. You know, until we get clear expansion like this, clear for value gaps, clear intention, like over here, that type of one-sided price action, I won't be interested until we get that. So hopefully that helps. Oh, trail stop loss. Yeah, thanks for reminding me. Can I go to an old trade? I'll just do it. I'll just do a hypothetical. So like, let me go to the trade I took a loss on last week. What was it? GJ? Okay. So GJ, I entered into long. Again, this was a loss, but I'm just using this as a hypothetical to show how I trail my stops. GJ, I entered on the 4-hour. How I trail my stops is based on fair value. So what I mean by that is I understand where price has offered fair value and where it doesn't need to return to. So I'll trail my stop when we create new fair value gaps higher, and once I know that there's no reason to return lower. So if you look at the 4-hour, right, I enter here. This is right where I got tagged in on this candle. Now, if we were to expand and create new fair value gaps higher, I know that we offered fair value here on the 4-hour, and there's no reason to return. You know, I would be looking for the fair value gap that gets formed here, overlapping with this high, to become the new area of fair value. So hypothetically, you know, I could go break even here if we created a big candle like this or something, because now price is offered fair value down here, and the new area of fair value will be this fair value gap overlapping with that, order block, whatever. So that's how I trail my stop. So at this point, when we create that new 4-hour fair value gap higher, that becomes a new area of fair value, and I would trail my stop to the swing low here and go break even. So essentially, I'm just reading the fair value gaps. I'm reading where we've offered fair value. New fair value gap here. I trail my stop to break even, like right here. And yeah, I mean, that's all I do. So if we're on the 15-minute, whatever. Say I enter here. You need to understand the higher time frames and where price is drawing to on the higher time frames. But let's say I enter here on the 15-minute. My stop is below this protected low. I'm targeting up here. How I would trail my stop is based on the fair value gaps and the areas of fair value. So when we create new 15-minute fair value gaps higher, that is where I can say, all right, now I can trail my stop to here. But I need to zoom out and make sure that there's nothing on the higher time frame that we need to retrace to first. So if I look at the 4-hour, if I look at the 1-hour, there should be no reason to head lower here. If I have the correct draw on the daily, weekly, or monthly. So hopefully that makes sense. So I'll trail my stop here. Ideally, don't want to see this get ran. This should become a new area of fair value and expand higher from here. It runs the low. Yeah, protected low. Didn't run the low. See why we stay, we keep our stops at the protected low. So there's, we don't want to see this. We didn't want to see this price leg get ran because there's a fair value gap in it. So that's an area of fair value. Should expand higher off that. Now this new fair value gap forms, right? Now I'll trail my stop here. As long as there's nothing on the 1-hour or 4-hour to retrace to, which there isn't. And so on and so forth. And yeah, that's literally all I do. Trail the areas of fair value, read the fair value gaps. That's how I trail my stop. Just have to zoom out and understand that, you have to keep it in context of the higher time frame and know that there's nothing else to retrace to on the time frames above. And if there isn't, then those fair value gaps, those areas of fair value will hold. Those price legs with fair value gaps in them, they become high probability. The lows should not get ran. So those lows become protected and you can trail your stop to them. How many pairs do you trade? I trade all these pairs, but throughout the week, I only trade a couple pairs. I take like 2 or 3, sometimes 4 trades a week. But that's between intraday futures and swings. Had the same bias for yen pairs, took the trade on EJ, was also a loss. Yeah, it happens. Just kind of bad delivery right now, but been bullish on EJ. I still am bullish on EJ. I think that we can expand higher still. I still think that this can expand higher. It just needs a little more time to cook. I want to see new fair value gaps get created here because this is just consolidating. So when we're in these areas, these periods of consolidation here, I'm just waiting for fair value gaps out. I'm waiting for price to show the intention to want to actually head higher. I'm not trying to just trade this chop. So that's really important to understand. Which time frame should we look for higher fair value gaps? Any time frame above the one that you're trailing your stop on. So if you're trailing your stop on the 15-minute, you're looking for 1-hour, 4-hour fair value gaps. You're understanding that, you need to make sure that price doesn't want to retrace to those areas, which would be below your stop loss. How do you enter trades? I use ST and I just trade any phase of market maker models. So when we trade into a higher time frame fair value gap, I trade mmxm. So we're going to sell into, price is going to sell off into say this is a daily fair value gap. So this is the 1-hour. This diagram I'm creating is the 1-hour. We're going to have 1-hour bearish order flow into that daily fair value gap. Now I wait for price to ST, shift state of delivery, market structure shift, whatever you want to use, and show intention to want to head out of that daily fair value gap. Now the 1-hour should become bullish. These areas of the sell side of the curve will become areas of order mitigation, and we should begin to head higher. And that's mmxm. So that's all I do to trade. You know, I'll enter here, like on the ST, on the change of state of delivery. I'll enter here on stage 1, and I'll enter here on stage 2 if I want, as long as I can get 2R. So that's how I trade. Nice and simple. mmxm. How come you're looking at AUD CHF shorts if you said XXX CHF is looking bullish? Now, that's a great question. So if I'm going to be bullish on XXX CHF pairs, then that just means that this is lower probability, because if I'm seeing shorts based on the order flow, it just, you know, tells me that it's something that I don't want to trade and focus on right now, because this order flow does look, you know, bearish. But if I'm bearish on Swiss franc, it's not ideal for this pair. So to me, that just makes it lower probability and makes it less favorable to trade. But that's a great question. So price action wise, this looks really good, but I'm not sure if Swiss franc is going to agree with that, because I do like. So all right, that's actually such a great question, MJ. This is really like, make sure you guys are paying attention to this, because that's so important. This is a perfect example of how I know what's high probability and what's not throughout the week as well. So this sell-off on AUD CHF, this price action does look bearish, and it looks, you know, nice for shorts, right? Price action wise. But all of this was caused by Swiss franc being bullish. Now we're at an area on the monthly where I expect Swiss franc to shift bearish. So trading AUD CHF right now, short, doesn't seem the highest probability to me, for that exact reason. You know, I'm expecting anything X CHF to be bullish. So it's just, you want to make sure that the currencies are in alignment with what you're doing. So amazing question. Hopefully I cleared that up for you. I do not think we could have avoided the loss. Didn't see anything that, yeah, that's just part of the game. There's not really anything you can do about that one. Does ST always appear at reversal points? Not always. No, it does not. You know, a change in state of delivery is an order block. So when price trades into a higher time for PDRA, you'll see, like, usually what you see is a turtle soup, and then you'll see price create an order block. So a turtle soup is just a run on liquidity. So the true definition of a change in state of delivery is something like this. But that being said, I prefer to just use Ario's ST. Shout out to Ario. It's just very simple. It, you know, it's just another way of waiting for price to change state of delivery. But a true change of state of delivery, if you look up, you know, ICT on his YouTube, anywhere that he teaches it, he defines an order block as a change in state of delivery. So this order block gets created at the higher time frame PD array, and we usually get, when price is high probability, fair value gaps out. So this is Ario's ST that would occur right here, you know, assuming price sold off, you know, into it, right? So assume that price was just selling off here. Sorry, this is messing me up. Why can't I move it? All right, there we go. Okay, so we get a fair value gap in, fair value gap out. The way ICT defines a change in state of delivery is this order block that gets created. That is the true change in state of delivery. But Ario's ST is just trading the fair value gap out. It's high probability. I like seeing it that way. So my preference is using Ario's ST. Hopefully that explanation was good. Kind of confusing, but basically you can, you know, do whatever you want. You trade the market structure shift with a fair value gap, but the easiest thing is just using Ario's ST, in my opinion. Do trail past break even for net profit stop loss? It depends on the order flow. So it depends on if we need to retrace still. If we've already offered fair value, that means I can begin to trail it higher, but it depends. Can you please repeat GA? And J looks good for higher. We have this monthly order block that we're respecting. Weekly, internal to external, we're expanding off this weekly fair value gap. heading higher. This shit looks really good. So what I want to see is a new fair value gap get created here, and then I would be looking for potential longs off of that daily fair value gap. So GA looks good for sure. I'm a fan. Also, Euro CHF is bearish. Yeah. The order flow looks bearish. I believe that Swiss franc is going to be bearish, which would make anything X CHF bullish. So for that reason, trying to short this right now is not high probability. Those are the type of things I'm factoring in throughout the week and understanding the currencies. So we could, potentially get consolidation here. We may just not get one-sidedness. I don't know, but that makes it a lower probability short. So you guys got to understand that when I'm doing this filtering, I'm just filtering based on the order flow and on the draw and liquidity. But throughout the week, that's when I'm factoring in the currencies and the directions of them. And that's when I'm only picking out of these the highest probability one. So I need to see the currencies in alignment. I want to understand that the pair that I'm trading is super high probability. So that's the type of stuff that I'm doing throughout the week and getting very picky about. But if there's an OB or OB above or below the fair value, price will move lightly. Test OB while filling. It can do both. It can expand directly off the fair value gap. If it fails to do that, it'll likely trade to the overlapping part where the order block is overlapping. From which time frame do you determine ERL IRL? As ERL is a swing high on any time frame, the one time frame that has a fair value gap in the current leg. So price is fractal. You can use internal and external on any time frame, but for getting draws on liquidity, I only use monthly, weekly, and daily for ERL and IRL. And yeah, I'm just looking at the most recent swing high to swing low, and I'm looking at price legs that have fair value gaps in them. So if you watch the video I posted yesterday, it talks all about ERL, IRL, and what I do. So that video should be really, really insightful. Yo, I love this. I genuinely love this. I just want to say that. I just got hit with like a smack in the face of realization. I just love this stuff, man. I wake up every day and I love doing this. So just know I appreciate you guys. Happy to help. I love doing this stuff, man. So grateful, man. Thank you, Lord. Like, just blessings, man. Can you look into the 4-hour fair value gap on Jure 40 on Monday with the tap? Yeah, of course. Let's look at it. I know someone wanted me to review my trades. I can definitely do that. I don't want to spend too much time on the live here. But by the way, drop a like on the stream. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. If you guys are new to the channel and you aren't subscribed, you're missing out. You truly are missing out on so much value. I do all this stuff. I teach all this stuff on the channel for free. I show you the exact model I use, Inception, for free. So if you're new, subscribe. If you're, if you just want to show some support, drop a like on the stream. And if you're not in the Discord, man, join the Discord. The Discord is amazing. I answer everyone's questions in the Discord. I provide analysis in the Discord. I say what I'm interested in. Just so much value, man. No reason not to be, subscribed and to be in the Discord. So I'm going to link the Discord in the description right now. Or in the chat, sorry. Make sure you're in there. If you're not, I don't know what to tell you. You're just missing out on free value. Why GBP CHF not on your watch list? Good question. Maybe I missed it. Maybe it doesn't look good to me. Monthly, maybe shifting bullish here. Weekly. Oh, I was talking about this before. I don't love the retracement. I'll put it on the wait list, but I'm going to be demanding a bit more from it. So this can definitely, continue higher from the order block, from the fair value up here. And I do expect this to continue higher based on how I feel about Swiss franc. But for me, Joel, I'm waiting for a bit more confirmation here. I'll probably wait for a daily fair value gap higher. But that's a good question. I think I just decided not to add it, but I'll add it. It's good for the wait list. When we get new fair value gaps higher, that could be nice. So I agree with what you're saying. It should be on the wait list. Man, my watch list is packed. Crazy. Throughout the week, that'll really diminish down. But yeah, I agree. GBP CHF can definitely head higher from here. I want to see new fair value gaps higher though. I want to demand a little bit out of price. Just because that retracement is so strong. You want to be a bit more picky. So that's another thing. Like, it's a perfect example of what you asked before about throughout the week, how I'm approaching high probability, how I'm approaching things like that. You know, there's times when you want to just demand a little bit more out of price to show that it's ready to go, that it's ready to expand. So that's a good example where I just kind of want to wait a little bit. So I don't know if I would, you know, trade this 4 hour for value up yet. I'd probably wait for new expansion. But yeah, that could be good for longs, especially, you know, if we're correct on our draw on Swiss franc. And again, anything XXX CHF, I'd be bullish. So for the things that I'm bearish on, not high probability. But I'm adding everything to this list because they have clear draws to me. They'll get taken off throughout the week. So my list will significantly shorten throughout the week. They'll get taken off, or, you know, I'll literally only trade my favorite pair throughout the week. So it's things like that that I do. Do you trail stop loss above break even also? Yeah, it's all based on the order flow and what I just showed before. So if the fair value gaps say that price doesn't want to retrace any lower, that's when I'll go break even. That's when I'll, you know, trail. I trail below those swing points. I trail based on where price has offered fair value and where it doesn't need to anymore. If you could only trade one pair for the rest of your life, which should it be? Wow, that's a great question. Probably yes, I think. Probably the S&P. I don't know. That's a great question. Because the majors and dollar just go into these periods of like yuckiness for so long. Whereas indices, I feel like you can always adjust and trade indices. So probably ES or NQ. Yeah, ES or NQ. I don't know which one. I can't pick between the two. I like NQ because the volatility, but NQ tends to sweep lows more and kind of do a little bit more. I don't know how to explain it. It just sweeps more often. So I like both. I like NQ better for the volatility though. So ES or NQ most likely. Personally. But again, I love doing the filtering. So I personally don't like just focusing on one pair. It's too... Here, I'll give an example. Focusing on one pair absolutely can work, but for me, it doesn't work because I don't like having to sit through times like this or times like this where we're just straight consolidation, where I don't know what price is doing and we're just chopping on the higher time frame. Because there will be days, there will be weeks where indices, ESNQ, whatever, where pairs just straight up consolidate. You know, it's gonna happen. It always does happen. Like, it's how price books. It's gonna happen. And I just have trouble sitting through that throughout the week. Whereas with a filtering process like this, you know, I can just say, oh, we're in consolidation right now, and go to the next pair. Oh, this one's expanding, cool, I'm interested in that. Oh, this one's consolidating, not interested in that. So that's why I really prefer the filtering. Do you use SMT more often or just IRL to ERL? So I get that question a lot. I use SMT, but I don't really look for it. I just see it when I see it. It's not a demand for me. I think there are other ways to gauge relative strength, and they just make more sense to me, like looking at the currencies, you know, reading the fair value gaps, reading the price action. So I don't really need to use SMT. If it sticks out to you, if it's something that you really resonate with, absolutely use it. But I think that you can understand relative strength and weakness in many ways, and you don't need to use SMT if you don't like it. So I personally don't have an issue with it. I think it's really good. You know, it's effectively getting you to trade the strongest or weakest pair relatively, but it just doesn't stick out to my brain in the charts. And I completely understand it. I completely know what it is, how to look for it. But even then, like, it just doesn't stick out to me. So for that reason, you know, I like to just use things that stick out to my brain. And what sticks out to me is external and internal liquidity, you know, fair value gaps, order blocks. That's it. You know, just liquidity pools and fair value gaps, really. That's what sticks out. So I would encourage you guys to just use the things that really stick, like, out to your brain. Use the things that resonate with you and that you like to see, that you naturally can see in the charts. But yeah, SMT is good. There's nothing wrong with it. Definitely works well. I know people that are absolute killers like Sniper who demand SMT with IRL and ERL where they don't trade, and that can definitely work. Exactly. Instead of SMT, you can check a lot of things. You know, if you're looking at euro and pound pairs, you can check euro GBP, the cross, to get relative strength. You can check the currencies and compare them. So there's many ways that you can check the relative strength, and you don't need to use SMT if you don't want to. Are you full-time trading now? Yes, sir. Just waking up from sleep. Thank God I didn't miss your live breakdown, big ups. What's up, bro? Appreciate you tapping in. Yeah, I already went through a lot of the pairs, unfortunately, but I'm down to answer some questions before we wrap it up. But I went through the whole forecast and definitely dropped some gems in this live, so. Long list, short list, wait list. Really big list for this week, but that will absolutely get diminished down. That will get refined throughout the week, and understand that I'm only trading the most high probability pair throughout the week. You know, I'm only looking at the cleanest pairs throughout the week. So I have a big watch list, yes, but I'm not trading all of these every single day. You know, I'm only trading the cleanest one. If your entry was at the fair value gap that aligned with the candle that took, I don't know which pair you're talking about. Are you talking about GJ? On indices, you swing trade or intraday? I purely intraday trade futures. So anything that's a futures contract, I trade intraday. Yeah, just indices and futures. Well, futures are indices. I mean, indices are futures, but any futures contract, I trade intraday. Any Forex pair, I swing. I just like to keep it that way. It makes more sense to my brain. Let me look at GJ. I want to see what you're saying. If your entry was at the fair value gap that aligned with the candle that took liquidity, you wouldn't have taken that. Well, so you're saying if I entered here? Yeah, I mean, I understand that, brother, but the point that I was making is, you know, we don't need to, like, we very well could have expanded from this fair value gap and headed higher. So that's kind of just hindsight trading, like to say, oh, you have to demand this fair value gap because it held. We very well could have directly expanded off of this and headed higher. So I get what you're saying, but also, like, it's just hindsight, you know. But yeah, I got cute with the stop loss here under this one because I couldn't risk the swing low, which should have been protected, because I wouldn't have got 2R, and I like to get 2R, so I got cute with it. But we very well, you know, could have just expanded off of this fair value gap and headed higher. So that's why I took that fair value gap. But yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, if you entered down here, that would have been a great entry, but easier said than done. From here, can you get 2R with the swing low? Still probably can't get 2R from here. Yeah, you need to like shorten it a little bit. Something like that. I mean, yeah, that would have been a great entry. It should expand. If somebody entered here, you're going to be probably profiting. Should expand higher. I do think that will still head higher. But we very well could have expanded from that first fair value gap. And we had news on the week. Well, Euro had news. Absolutely, bro. I appreciate it. You trade both Forex and futures? Yes, sir. I trade both. It depends. On Forex, I risk 2% on the evaluations and 1% on the funded accounts. But in futures, it really depends, because in the evals, you can literally just one and done them. And by that, I mean, you can, this sounds crazy, but hear me out, understand. You can literally pass the evals in one trade. You're going to blow up in one trade. Terrible risk management. But when you're already profitable, when you already understand how to trade, you don't need to be wasting time on evaluations. So like for me, I'm not worried about, being conservative with my risk on futures evaluations because they're so cheap. So I'm just going to pass them in one trade or fail them in one trade and then get more because they're so cheap. And then when I get to the funded, when I'm at the funded, that's when I dial back the risk and I get more conservative. That's when I'm really actually dialing in my risk management and never blowing the account because my risk management is so tight. But in the evaluation phase, there's no point in wasting time if you're already profitable, if you're already you know how to trade. There's no reason for me to trade evaluations for a month on futures. So for those, I'll go way more aggressive risk, pass them in like 1 to 2 trades, and then once I get to the funded, that's when I dial back the risk. That's when I get conservative and I actually manage my risk. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm not promoting risking a lot, but it makes sense to do so with prop firms when you don't want to waste your time. I don't need to be wasting months trading futures evaluations because I know when I get to the funded, I'll just dial back my risk and trade normal. I'm already profitable. I know like exactly what to do once funded. So you want to be aggressive on the evals with risk and then conservative once funded. Never blow the account once funded. Your risk management will prevent that from happening. So yeah, hopefully that helped. Did I break down NQ? I did, but I can go through it again. So after tapping into the higher time PD rate, I'm just looking for a fair value gap out because that the change in state of delivery is going to occur. The change in state of delivery will have occurred already once that fair value gap out happens. So NQ. Monthly order flow is bullish on NQ. Traded into this for value gap, this area for value. So now that we've offered for value, we just seeked liquidity. We're sweeping that monthly buy side. So we're at a point right now where I would just be waiting on NQ because the higher time frame just swept external and the weekly doesn't look clear. There's not much to work with on the weekly for me right here. I want to gauge how price is acting through this level. I want to see what NQ does. Does it expand higher off of this for value gap and show strength? Does indices want to expand from here and continue higher and show that strength, or are we going to sweep that high and pull back a little bit? But I'd really just be waiting on NQ. There's not much to do right here. We're just consolidating, sweeping that high. So I'm just I would want to see, do we create new expansion higher and show strength through this area of liquidity, or do we begin pulling back? So indices don't look that great to me, or at least they don't look that clear to me right now, but that's how I would be approaching it. Anyways, if you guys have any final questions, let me know. I will probably answer those, and then I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to link the video that I posted last night in the chat right now. If you guys haven't watched that, definitely go watch that. It's an amazing video on external and internal range liquidity, which is the exact thing that I'm using every single day when I do these, or every single Sunday when I'm doing these forecasts. So everything that you just watched me do on the monthly, weekly, and daily is using external and internal range liquidity. It's using what I taught in this video. So definitely go watch this video next. That being said, if you guys have any questions, let me know. And then I'm gonna wrap it up. How to cope against a big fair value gap on the opposing side of the curve. It really shouldn't be an issue when you're in alignment with the drawn liquidity. When you understand where price is drawing to, that fair value gap on the opposing side of the curve just gets invalidated. So it'll cause a small reaction, but it'll eventually be sliced through like butter and validated because the higher time frame is drawing to that area. Need more breakdowns on IG or in Discord for sure. I'll try to do more trade breakdowns for you guys. Yeah, completely get that. Learned so much and got a refreshment from your videos and teaching. Love it. Thank you so much once again. I got you, bro. I'm happy to help. Make sure you guys join the Discord. Check out that video next, right after the stream. Hop on to that video and you'll know exactly what I'm doing every single Sunday. What I just went through and did is, look at ERL and IRL, external and internal range liquidity, to get clear draws on liquidity on these pairs. So definitely go watch that video next. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. With that being said, hope you guys enjoyed the stream. Definitely stay tuned for more videos. I'm going to be posting one YouTube video every single week. We do the live streams every so often throughout the week, as well as every Sunday I do these forecasts. So stay tuned for more content. I appreciate you guys tuning in. And yeah, go watch that video. I linked down below.